going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today what I have for you guys is a very unexpected video. I actually have an image of what Season 2 was going to look like within Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now, be sure to pay attention because I'm going to explain this in the best way that I possibly can. Now, I had this image recreated from scratch to avoid any potential copyright issues on YouTube. This image does fall under fair use and is a completely original recreation of the image that I'm discussing here in the commentary. Now, I can't disclose too much on where this image was found and who found it, just to ensure that it doesn't get linked with anybody and to make sure it doesn't get anybody in trouble. Now, this is honestly great closure for those of you out there who expected a second season of Zombies content for Black Ops 4, and for those out there who are fans of the Chaos storyline. But before we jump into the image, just as a reminder, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and have notifications on to ensure you stay up to date with the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information, all updates on Black Ops 4, Warzone, and Call of Duty 2020. About 75% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so make sure you guys do have that bell on to ensure you never miss an update. I also offer beanie hats over on my website for just $14.99, and my t-shirts do go for $19.99. I just released my new Ultimates design, which matches the Victis design perfectly, and that's of course available at dkdynamite1.com. The link is also in the description. But now as we take a look at this recreated version of how Season 2 was going to be structured for Black Ops 4 Zombies, let me make something very clear. In the original image, the only maps that were on that list were classified to orange. I added the Victis maps to this list for the sake of the discussion because we're going to be talking about why they weren't on the list in just a few minutes. I did get that verified, and as we take a look here at the list, we of course have classified Dead of the Night, Ancient Evil, you know, DLC 0, 1, and 2, and then we have white, blue, and orange. So white's actually the internal name for Nuketown, and there was actually an image of Nuketown, actually the Black Ops 2 placeholder image, when somebody selected white, which was interesting, right? And then we have blue and orange. So orange is the internal name for Tag Their Toten, and blue is actually the placeholder name for the next Chaos map that would have released after Ancient Evil. Now, what we don't know is whether or not the map blue would have released during a Season 2, or if it was meant to be the original DLC 3 if Year 1 had stayed all Chaos and then Year 2 was all Ether. We're not sure how that would have worked, but it is cool that white and orange were there standing for Nuketown and Call of the Dead. And the reason why this image is very important is because it's apparently a screenshot that was taken when people were flown out for the Ancient Evil capture event. And what's really funny about this is that I actually talked about this exact same list before Tag Their Toten even released. I know you guys probably remember when I made these Call of the Dead DLC 4 videos where a lot of people were like, you know, there's no way it's Call of the Dead, it's the Great War. And I was like, nope. We heard from several people, not only verified insiders, but also people that were flown out during that event, that there was a whiteboard at the Treyarch Studios office that showed Call of the Dead Gauntlet challenges, and people had claimed that at the main menu of whatever build of Black Ops 4 that was, they did see both Nuketown and Call of the Dead there. And what do you know? White on this list was Nuketown with a placeholder image of the Black Ops 2 Nuketown, and orange showed a placeholder image of Call of the Dead from Black Ops 1. So that was already, you know, proven legit from several different people who were out there, right? So now that we have this image leaked, this makes a lot more sense. Now here's a big point too, right? Where were the Victis maps on this list? And the reason I have them in my thumbnail is not only to avoid copyright, but also because this is something really important now. At the time of the Ancient Evil early capture event, it seems like the Victis maps were already not planned to be in Black Ops 4, but were already planned to be moved to Call of Duty 2020, and on top of that, it may just seem like the map blue just hadn't been deleted yet, even though it probably should have been, since it also wasn't going to be for Black Ops 4. Now, there's of course the conspiracy that, yeah, maybe this map known as blue, whatever that stands for in the Chaos storyline, is still going to come out at some point, you know, for Black Ops 4, which would be highly unlikely, and I doubt they have any time left to add anything into Black Ops 4, unfortunately, as much as I would love to see that. But maybe at the time they did still have some hope that they would bring Chaos back at some point in Black Ops 4, maybe at least release one more Chaos map as like closure for the story in the case that they don't bring Chaos back ever again. And maybe they thought they were going to get away with that, because during the Ancient Evil live stream over at Treyarch Studios, Blundell himself did say that Ancient Evil was the last Chaos map for that season. He heavily emphasized the word season.
Yeah, so this map represents the last map of the Chaos story for this season. So
Jason, where are you going with this?
So
What could it mean?
So this is the cliffhanger here.
Maybe a step too far, but it's cool. It's just...
And when YouTubers were flown out to play Ancient Evil early, for some reason, blue was there at the menu, but the Victis maps were not. Now, I was told that at that time, the Victis maps were already in mind for Treyarch's next game and not Black Ops 4, but it's like, why is the blue map still there then? It's kind of weird, and this is really a really unexpected video that I'm really happy to be making, because this is closure for anybody out there who was hoping to hear something more about new DLC for Black Ops 4 Zombies. But in terms of the storyline going forward for the Chaos storyline, what could the blue map have been? Now, I was told that yes, blue was a Chaos map. It was not an Ether map whatsoever, so we know that for sure. But in terms of where the map would have went, we of course have some of the easy guesses, right? The Library of Alexandria, the Pyramid of Giza. Everybody really wants an Egypt map. Everybody really wants an Atlantis map. So I think based on the Ancient Evil ending cutscene, the Library of Alexandria was probably our best bet for where we were going next. Who knows what else they could have done with Chaos, but as I said before, Chaos is such a unique story because they have almost infinite possibilities of where they can go, thanks to Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology. There's so much they could have done that honestly makes sense, because the undead, I should say, or zombies, really does play a role in a lot of versions of mythology, a lot of folk tales. So Chaos had so much going for it. It just needed time to grow as a story. It was way too soon to say, okay, is Chaos a worthy successor of Ether by the time Ancient Evil came out? Since when Ancient Evil came out, it felt like the story was just getting good, but it's because it was finally getting time to flesh out properly. The release of the Chaos story was all over the place, right? You have Voyage and 9 at launch. You have a filler DLC 1 that's a prequel to Voyage that should have been a launch map, but doesn't really further the story or get people interested past that. So of course, when Ancient Evil came out, it was finally furthering the narrative that we saw on the map 9. So going forward now for the Chaos story, we could just assume that, since the Oracle revealed herself as Medusa, she'll be the villain for a map or two, or maybe even for a while. We of course have Dark Shaw and Bruno from the end of Ancient Evil, so Diego would have hopefully woke up Scarlet after the events of Ancient Evil. Maybe the two of them would have become lovers, as they bond and try to work together to cleanse both Bruno and Shaw, so they have the whole gang together to fight the necessary evil. And I also feel like we haven't really had a map that's focused solely on Ra. We know the artifact within the HUD of 9 is, I think, Ra's artifact, so I get it, right? 9 is technically Ra's map, but during the Easter egg, you do please all the gods, and the map itself is a bit of a hallucination, right? It doesn't really happen all that much, so I feel like getting an Egyptian map that's solely based on just the Ra god would make the most sense, since Voyage is, of course, for Odin, you have Dead of the Night for, Danu, and we of course have Ancient Evil for Zeus. So Ra needs more focus, and I think we'll eventually get that if the Chaos storyline does return. Now, the biggest thing too that I also wanted to bring up, which is a follow-up to a recent video I made, well over 6 months ago, is the Eye of Apophis, a melee weapon that was randomly added into Black Ops 4 for no apparent reason, that I feel may have been made for and tested on this blue zombies map that we saw at the main menu in that image. I think the next map may have been focused just on Ra, and Apophis would have played some type of role on the map, and there are several reasons why Apophis does make sense on a Chaos map. First and foremost, he was the arch enemy of Ra, so if there was a Ra map focused solely on just the god Ra, either in Egypt or Library of Alexandria, I'm sure we could have fought Apophis in a similar way that we fought Perseus over on Ancient Evil, and Scarlet and Diego would have thought that Apophis was their enemy, while secretly Dark Bruno and Dark Shaw could have been assisting Apophis in some way, which could have took a turn for the worse for our crew, could have created a really cool plot twist, and that's how Scarlet and Diego could have learned that both Bruno and Shaw were part of the Order at that point. Would have been a great plot point to see. Maybe we'll see it in the future, but we also do know that the Eye of Apophis is a powerful crystal originally possessed by Apophis himself. The Eye is powerful on its own, but when joined together with 5 other crystals, it becomes a weapon of mass destruction. So we're getting some Infinity Gauntlet vibes here. And again, it's like God of War. If you're a fan of God of War, then this is great information, because it seems like we would have fought some big names in Greek mythology at some point in the future of the Chaos storyline. We also know that Apophis, was the ancient Egyptian spirit of evil, darkness, and destruction, and as the arch enemy of Ra, he was a malevolent force who could never be entirely vanquished. So we do also know that Apophis was the great serpent in ancient Egyptian religion, and the sun was Ra's great barge which sailed through the sky from dawn to dusk and then descended into the underworld. As it navigated through the darkness of night, it was attacked by Apophis, who sought to kill Ra and prevent sunrise. On board the great ship, a number of different gods and goddesses are depicted in differing eras, as well as the justified dead, and all of these helped fend off the serpent. So getting massive vibes for an actual chaos map in Call of Duty Zombies, which is great because this is the type of narrative that they were building towards, right? Started off a bit slow with Voyage and 9, was a bit odd with Dead of the Night, but with Ancient Evil we were able to see a clear vision for how mythology would have played a big role in this storyline going forward, and how the undead or zombies would have made sense in such a big story like this. So let me know what you think of this down below in the comment section. Do you guys think Chaos will ever return? Is it profitable for Activision, or was it too much of a financial flop during Black Ops 4 to the point where we'll never get closure to whatever it is that happened after the events of Ancient Evil? But the Eye of Apophis is definitely a very suspicious melee weapon, and I'm wondering if there would have been upgrades for it. I'm wondering if, you know, the next Chaos map would have had a different system for wonder weapons where there weren't really wonder weapons, but kind of like just wonder melee weapons, similar to the Frozen Dawn from World War II. Maybe the Eye of Apophis could have been upgraded to different elements, or maybe, you know, you would have just started off with just the main crystal, and then throughout the Easter egg you gather the other 5. Again, would have been awesome, and I think it would have been like Treyarch's way of having an Infinity Gauntlet in a Zombies map. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below on the Season 2 image. We had white, blue, and orange on that list. Treyarch really does like their colors. The Victis maps have, of course, been moved to Call of Duty 2020. Hopefully we get more information about those in the next couple of months. But that is about it, and peace out, everyone.